I'm Jacob.
And I'm Jared.
And we're here to talk about Dragon Ball
Z.
That's the one. Okay, so starting with episode 33 today. Vegeta's an ape right now at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah.
Tail gets cut off by Yajirobe. Spirit Bomb attack.
Sure. But also I put on here, Destructive Disc,
misses both times.
Yeah.
Gohan really sustains the fight. He's fighting Vegeta for most of this episode, so it's not like a single rage attack, but consistent combat, which is kind of interesting. This is the first time you see it.
I put Vegeta was overconfident. That's the whole thing. It's like Vegeta could end this in 1 second by fight them as warriors, which is kind of his weakness. But in the end, I mean, obviously it works out for everyone. But this is also at the end of it is when Goku gives Krillin the Spirit Bomb.
Yeah.
So which is like
which I didn't know you could give to somebody. It's interesting.
I think this is one of the only times they do it, but like it's a thing. I mean, it makes sense. It's just energy that he gathered from the planet, and now he's giving it to someone else to use, and it's just like that's kind of where they ended. Is like, oh man, they got the Spirit Bomb. How are they gonna beat him now with the Spirit Bomb? So, in my opinion, I enjoyed the stuff before. This is where we get to this. It should be over, but now something has to happen so that we can have another episode and not in the exact way it should be, you know? Like, they should be Boo the first time, but nope, there's like 58 forms of Boo before the end.
But yeah, it does feel a little bit drawn out. Then we get into episode 34. So this is Krillin deciding when to throw the Spirit Bomb. Yeah. So his judgment is pretty poor. It turns out he's debating it for a long time. There's a moment, Vegeta's standing there and blasting Gohan for, 2 minutes in one place. Not the right time, but then when Vegeta's running at him, I guess that's the perfect time.
But then it misses him, but then it's okay. Gohan just volleyballs it back to his face, and then it hits Vegeta. Once again, this could be where it just ends, because it's like the Spirit Bomb. That's the end attack. Nope, Vegeta's like, now I'm even more pissed, and it's like, whoa, I guess you were upset before when they literally cut your tail off, and...
But this is a great alley-oop from Gohan. Everyone's involved in this. Yeah. Goku's kind of laying there, coordinating it maybe a little bit. So feels like good closure. Vegeta gets blasted into the sky a second time. Yeah, I agree. I think this would have been a good end.
And then you have Gohan's tail at the end. That's the whole thing. It's like, oh no, Gohan's tail is here, and Vegeta realizes that now he could be in even more trouble.
One thing Vegeta says after he survives that Spirit Bomb attack as he's walking towards him, he says, like, you should have finished me the first time, or when you hit someone in the back, make sure you don't miss. This feels like the first time he's kind of coaching the Earthlings on, like, don't have mercy. This is a little bit of a theme, but I think he does that during the Frieza saga too, which I don't want to jump ahead, but it's like, don't show mercy. And so this is the first time, but it's about himself, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Gohan's tail grows back, and I guess that's the cliffhanger of this episode.
Yeah. And it was the last episode, which is...
episode 35.
Which is just like now we're getting into the thing of just having, now Gohan becomes a giant ape. I'm not a big fan of the side. I would have to look if that's in the manga. No, I'm not a fan of that. I think you could just have where he fell on his back in season and it happens. I don't think Goku needs to coach him. Why would he need to coach him?
Through telepathy, which is...
Well, he never uses this again. Like, why does he use this in other battles then later on? But anyway.
Again, it's like if you want to see the Titans fight each other. If you want to see Vegeta as an ape fight Gohan as an ape, or let's just not have apes. So it's kind of weird to stagger that out and introduce it later. Tail comes back randomly, and then Tail gets cut off within 15 minutes.
That's the cliche of the show, is that like there can never just be a simple solution. And that's anime a lot of times. I personally like it more when like there's a clear way that they can be a villain, and they do it. And then you just have like the end battle where it's basically just at that point like Vegeta gets knocked down by Gohan's tail gets taken off. Gohan's butt knocks Vegeta down, and Vegeta's just out at that point. He crawls away, and Krillin has this awesome moment where he grabs the sword, can kill him, but Goku begs him not to.
Yeah, which is interesting for a couple reasons. So first off, I guess in a way, they all kind of defeat Vegeta. It's not clear that Goku beat him.
That's a team.
Which is, Vegeta later on, right, has this like rematch thing with Goku, but I mean, Goku did blast him and all that, but it's Gohan as an ape that crushed him, and it's Krillin that let him live, so it's not as simple as that.
This is one of the last times that there's a real team effort, because looking ahead in the series, there are things that they do, but because the characters keep transforming, realistically, Goku beats a villain.
Couple other things on there. King Kai foreshadowing, right before Krillin is holding the sword over Vegeta, he says there's an even stronger enemy I sense and something bigger. And that's very interesting foreshadowing. The Saiyan saga and the Namek saga are really well linked together in a way that I don't think any of the other large sagas in Dragon Ball are ever linked. There's usually bigger gaps. And so what's happening there is basically he's giving a little bit of a foundation or a reason for Krillin to be merciful. right? Because he's saying like maybe you do need Vegeta because there's this other nefarious energy out there, and it's not like you're not clearly linking it, but to insert that right in the middle or seconds before that image of Krillin holding the sword over it almost gives him a subconscious reason not to kill Vegeta right there.
But once again, I'm pretty sure that's anime. I think that their anime's done afterwards, so it allows them to recanonize everything. Which, like, hey, I actually think that's fine. I would actually love them, especially when Super's done, if that really is kind of the end for now. I would love them to go back and redo the entire anime, like the entire thing, and kind of set up a lot more things. Make it very clear how important the Red Ribbon Army is going to be in Dragon Ball, like how that's going to continue on for a long time after that. Make it very clear that like Vegeta and Nappa know of other powerful enemies. I don't like the fact that they keep acting like Goku's so powerful. Frieza is insanely more powerful, and they're acting like they haven't seen power levels like this, and like the scowls are blowing up. It's like
that's why this comment from King Kai is so interesting, because like there's never any closure. Like you waited, now we're in 35 episodes, and Goku has finally, or the team of Earthlings has finally defeated Vegeta. And you're not even allowed to enjoy it. Like, that's what makes this so different than any other show. As a kid, you watch a 20-minute show and usually the hero wins at the end of it. Here, they have him on the ropes. Yeah. He's crawling back to his spaceship, sword dangling over his head, like sword of Damocles. And King Kai's like, nah, that doesn't matter. There's something worse coming up ahead. Like, don't even enjoy this victory.
It depends on how people want to look at it, but I kind of consider, like, while this is officially the Saiyan saga, is also encompassed into the Frieza saga. Same thing in how Trunks saga is encompassed in like the Cell saga. It's kind of like there are 3 actual big arcs along with these smaller pieces. This is the same part, which is basically on Earth. Like, how do they save Earth? Cool. Now that we're off Earth, we're gonna go to another planet. How are we gonna deal with this threat? And then the final thing, we've dealt with the Ginyu Force. How do we deal with this like final thing and vice versa? So it's the end of this first kind of like step in the Dragon Ball Z stuff. I just personally think that the Vegeta fight starts stronger than it ends. Like, I like the way it starts, it's really strong, and then it kind of...
Lightning round question. Yeah. Would Yajirobe have used the sword on Vegeta if he was the one standing over him?
I think so. I think Yajirobe is more of a... I don't want to say a coward, but he doesn't have as much honor.
But I would love to see the Yajirobe dedicated YouTube channel talking about... He used the sword twice very effectively, and he gives it to Krillin the third time, and Krillin blows it.
Yeah, I think Yajirobe would have totally done. I think Roshi, I think a lot of them would have ended Vegeta. I think that the only one, Piccolo would have, you really have half of the fighters would have listened to Goku and the other half would. I think even Piccolo, who had changed of heart, would have cared about that. He would have said, no, not this guy.
This is like being magnanimous and actually this guy does turn good. It's the only time in Z really that I don't know. I mean, I guess there's...
No, that's good. I mean, Leon, Majin Buu too, and stuff like that. And then Goku is the one to do it, but there's someone else does it. Like, Goku even wants Buu to be good, and even at the end wishes Super Kid Buu to become good, and literally creates a being because of that. For the most part, it works, with the exception of Frieza.
Yeah, that's true. Which we'll get to pretty soon.
Alright, next time on Dragon Ball Z.